Om Swastiastu. Hello, my name is Putuninda Anggriani. I am from 5B class English education. I will present about references, reference expressions, and referrer. Reflecting in the generally interpreted as the act of a speaker or author using a linguistic form to enable a listener or reader to identify something. In other words, referencing refers to an entity in the word talk language. State that a referer is the relationship between a piece of speech and the individual or group that identify it. It is important to remember reference is often constructed with the meaning of the term. We realize a reference is concerned with the relationship between linguistic element or language and non-linguistic element. Sense deal only with relationship within language, especially with word. And for example, the meaning of tulip is related to the meaning of other words such as flowers, known as hypomis, and the meaning of deep is related to the meaning of deep, known as synonyms. The relationship between words is also called semantic relationship. Linguistic form or means used to identify or designate an entity is called a referential expression and can be a proper noun. A definite noun praise female singer or identified noun masculine islands could be and pronouns he, she, it, them. Noun process proper nouns are called primary reference term and pronouns are called secondary reference term. And a speaker is referring to a specific person in a referential expression when he or she uttered the phrase that Einstein was a famous scientist. The thing in word, or in this case the person named Einstein, referred to by a particular expression in called it is reference. The term reference in therefore the representations of what is selected by the utterance of the representation in a particular context. A sentence can also contain more than one reference term. For example, if the sentence is pronounced that Bill kissed Mary, then by virtue of the characteristic statement, both Bill and Mary refer to phrases that refer to people identifiable by name as Bill and Mary, and further argues that the difference between reference and reference is that there is no nature connection between reference and referent. There is no privilege one-to-one relationship between the term Bill Clinton and Bill Clintons, who was President of the United States. Furthermore, the existence of a referential expression does not guarantee the extent of the reference in the physical and social world in which we live. We can form representations in terms of reference like the dragon of my house, emperor of Indonesia, but we don't necessarily have to provide the extent of those physical reference. And the next about type of reference. Provide a comprehensive description of the different kind of reference that language used to identify entities in the world. According to him, there are mainly three types of speakers difference. They are described below. The present study explore this question using a word learning paradigm. Especially, we examined whether reference characteristics such as reference type, face or object, and familiarity known or unknown might influence word difference mapping. Moreover, we examined this effect across two test sessions to determine if the influence of reference characteristics may be more pronounced over time, and across two age groups, young versus older adult, to determine there might be age-related difference. Participants were present with first word reference mapping informed reference conditions, face or objects, or known and or unknown, and they were tested with recognition text immediately after learning. And as after a short delay, our findings indicate that names for face were not learned better than names for object, despite previous literature suggesting that face and process differently. We also found that known reference defined as having a preexisting the label for reference. We learned better that unknown item, but this familiarity advantage was only observed for face and not for object. While there were several related findings, there may be due to the longer delay between the immediate and delayed test among the older adult relative to young adult. Taken together, our results suggestions that certain reference characteristics do interpret and influence our learning of a memory for such pairings. And the next material about unique and non-unique reference. If a reference expression has a fixed reference, the reference has a unique entity or group or entities. Entities such as the Rocky Mountains, Louvre, the Pacific Ocean, and Germany represents unique entities from only certain place. Word knowledge is part of the general knowledge. On the other hand, if the reference expression has a variable reference, the reference can have non-unique entities. And the next about concrete and abstract reference. Concrete references are represented by concrete or tangible objects such as books, lamps, trees, and bricks, while abstract references are represented by abstract or immediate real objects such as beauty, democracy, knowledge, and philosophy. Represents by a physical entity. It is interesting to note that lexemes with different labels commonly appear in different types of utterance, and many affect other lexemes differently. And the next about countable and uncountable reference. Worthy of the term comfortable and uncomfortable are the properties of known phrases. Both concrete and abstract, concrete comfortable expressions are those that are separate from each other and those that can usually be counted individually. These include pencil, bag, church, watches, and abstract comfortable nouns include entities such as problems, experience, and suggestions. And the next about types of reference. Number 1, working reference. Number 2, academic reference, and number 3, character reference. And the next material about generic and non-generic reference. The meaning of term generic, which is not really synonymous with generic, can be understood by considering the following example. Number 1, cats are wonderful pets. Number 2, cats are wonderful pets. Number 3, cats are lovely pets. Any of these sentences can be used to assert of a general sentence, that is, a sentence that says something about a class, not about a particular group or cats, not about a particular individual cats. And the next material about definite and indefinite reference. Agree that a referential representation it is clear if the reference is identifiable from the physical and social context of both the speaker and the listeners. A directive that splits book into table contains a unique reference expression to book and table in the speaker, assumes that the receiver can make the necessary entertainment to make a new reference to the previous ones. Then this is also the case for referential expressions. I booked a new house in a quiet place. The kitchen is very language and has a certainly representation of the kitchen. Also, if the refer expression is fixed, the reference is said to be unique. Therefore, it can be common knowledge of destinations like Mount Everest. Finally, the reference representations is determined if the reference has a unique or near unique position in the more limited work of the speaker and receivers. And the next material about specific and non-specific reference. To determine whether a reference has a specific or non-specific reference, it is important to understand the discourse rather than the reference representation itself. And the next about term Hindu. Hinduism is called by some as the oldest religions in the world, which is still in existence today, and Hindu call their religious Sanatana Dharma, meaning eternal Dharma or eternal path that transcends humans' originals. The religion prescribes internal obligations such as honesty, chastity, and self-control that our followers must obey regardless of class, caste, or denominations. And the next conclusion, reference is often construed with the meaning of the term, whether reference is concerned with the relationship between linguistic element, language, and non-linguistic element, word. Sense deal only with relationship within language, especially with word. For example, the meaning of tulip is related to the meaning of other words such as flowers. And the meaning of div is relations to the meaning of div. Now, as synonym, the relationship between word is also called semantic relationship. A linguistic form of meaning used to identify or design an entity is called a referential expression and can be a proper noun, a definite noun phrase, female singer, or a identified noun, masculine island. Could be and pronouns. Noun phrase, proper nouns are called primary reference term, and pronouns are called secondary reference term. About my presentation, and today I close with Paramasanti. Om Santi 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 Om. Thank you.